Hello and welcome to Squid Pro Quo, a Squid Game podcast where there are only 3 rules. 1, a player is not allowed to stop podcasting. 2, a player who refuses to podcast will be eliminated. And 3, the podcast will be terminated if the majority agrees. I'm Sean.
And I'm Mike, and I did the finger thing, Sean.
I did the finger thing too. You know what's
Oh.
great, Mike?
It feels good.
Look, we've had some fun over the last couple episodes. We've had some cool guests on. We've had 3 guests on over the last 4 episodes.
We had some cool guests, and then we had Jip.
And then we had Jip, and we canceled all of the other guests that we had booked because of that, because the experience was just so awful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys should have seen, like, he showed up, and he was like, where's my green M&Ms? And I was like, they are fucking M&Ms. They all taste the same. Why does it matter?
This is a really good Jip bit, by the way, that you're doing. This is really good. Keep going.
Anyways, the point of all this is that Jip was so bad on the podcast that we have decided that we're going to do the rest of the season by ourselves.
Well, a lot has changed since that episode, actually.
Yeah, we got a lot
not
to
a lot
talk
of time
about.
has gone by, but a lot has changed.
The world has shifted beneath our feet.
Yeah.
Um,
I watched every episode,
Yeah.
so I know who won.
How do you feel? Well, we'll talk about that as well. Yeah. How do you feel?
I think it was a satisfying experience. I don't
Mhm.
really want to talk too much about it, but I just got to the point after this episode, watching this episode, because I didn't finish this episode the first time I started watching it. I don't know if everybody remembers, but I got really mad at something that happens in this episode, and so I stopped, finished it, and then just had to keep powering through. And so I'm glad I did, because I think I easily would have met the fate that happened to you, Sean.
Yes. So, I went on Twitter today, and actually earlier in the day, I had seen an article about the fact that the winner of the game hadn't been paid their money. But the person that was tweeting it hadn't used the name. Because, like, it makes sense not to use the name. And then I opened Twitter a couple hours later, and I got spoiled through a retweet of a quote tweet of a tweet that had the name of the winner. So I know who wins Squid Game. Unfortunately. This is very upsetting for me. I actually screamed when it happened. I'm not lying. I yelled no as I saw the name. And like, I don't know. I understand that it's been a couple days, and like with the way that this was meant to be consumed, I should have seen it by now. But it goes back around to like, this is kind of the exact reason I don't really like the idea of the binge model, and even like these kind of batch releases. Because, I mean, we're spacing them out, but we're not even spacing them out that much. There's like a couple days in between each episode.
Right.
And so the fact that even like we're 3 away, like at the time that I'd seen it, I was 2 away, like in terms of episodes to watch, not episodes to record podcasts about. But the fact that I was only like 2 episodes away from it, and it's like, all right, here it is, here's the spoiler, is like, it really upset me. I was gonna have a higher energy bit about this.
Yeah, you were like talking a big game about how you were gonna like storm Netflix
Yeah.
HQ and eat the rich, and
But as I started talking about it, I'm just sad.
yeah.
I feel like this was a really like cool experience that was ruined.
Here's the thing,
in a
though,
way.
Sean. You were kind of playing with fire because you
I
were
was
sending
playing
me
with fire.
TikToks. You were sending me TikToks from different
So what I was-
competitors in the game.
What I was
And-
doing is I was at least being careful in the way that like I was seeing when the TikToks were posted first, and I was seeing who they were by, and so I would only watch ones by people that had already been eliminated from what I'd seen, and from ones that were posted before the second batch of episodes had come out. So the TikToks didn't spoil anything for me. I was being cautious with the TikToks. It was this one article, and honestly, that's the only time I've seen it spoiled. I know you said that Netflix almost spoiled it for you.
Yeah, the day we recorded the last episode, it said, because we recorded it on the day the finale was posting, and it said the winner of Squid Game, the challenge is, and there was like a delay in the video, and I was like, oh, and I quick scrolled off of it. So yeah, a little disappointing that you got spoiled, but we're gonna
power
moving
through.
forward.
It's gonna be a good time. I can come back around a little bit to my bit that I was gonna do, but then completely lost the energy for. You know, binge culture is the fucking worst. Whoever came up with it should rot in hell. It's unnatural and wrong. It's really embarrassing if you guys are in the Discord because I said I'm gonna unload my entire manifesto against binging on the podcast. Just wait, and that's not what happened.
No, you definitely lost some steam here.
I did. I do want to know, like, this was important. I said it in the in the Discord that I don't blame any of you bingers out there. You've been forced into this system that will punish you if you don't binge. And I'm really upset that this minorly inconvenienced my life.
I think the real enemy here is Twitter.
I think the real enemy here is Ted Sarandos.
Well, I mean, you might have to take him out, Sean.
Hey, I would never do that.
Man, this guy was talking a big game off air, you guys.
Hang on a second.
He was like, put your sniper reticles on, Ted. Get him out of here.
I would never get rid of Ted Sarandos. See, I gotta be very careful about what I say because people listen to this.
People actually listen to this. You can't just say whatever you want.
So, you guys
that
can
being
fill in
said,
the
Sean,
blanks.
should we probably get into the episode? I know you really want to do this bit, but I feel like you don't have the energy for it, and then you're also just not doing it. So I think we should move forward.
I was gonna do that, and you kept trying to set me up for the bit, and we just kept floundering, or I kept floundering it. So I think we should just move forward.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about episode 8 here, and the last episode ended with Trey taking a leap of faith. It's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, in this episode, I've never been angrier. I don't know, like watching Squid Game, I was probably angrier, but that was fucking. That made me so upset. Right. Just the it was a very intense cliffhanger.
So this episode starts with the Trey talking head, where he talks about how both his parents, Leanne, who we know, and his father, who we don't know, were incredible athletes, and growing up, he tried all these different sports, and it just never clicked for him, and how much pressure there was in that, and how frustrating it was for him to grow up like that. Which I don't know. I guess I don't. They didn't want to just start with the outcome of his jump, but I don't really understand where he was going with this talking head, or why it really matters to what we're talking about here.
It's a weird talking head. I don't really know.
Because it's not like this is an athletic bit, like, you know what I mean? Like, he does leap, but, like, you could walk across. You didn't have to leap.
Yeah.
So Trey is an absolute legend because he picked the right one.
Yes.
And he kind of looks back at Ashley.
He gives some crazy side eye to her.
Like, really? And she goes, chill, just take your time. And Roland is at the back, and he goes, I think it's fair if someone steps up. And she looks back at him and goes, shit, you talking?
Yeah.
And so,
do you want to talk about all this now?
Yeah, because you sent me a TikTok and you were like, hey, Trey kind of explains this situation more. And the TikTok was basically him saying, like, hey, it's not Ashley's fault. I never came out and just bluntly asked her to do it. When Marina did it, I kind of just hinted that I wanted her to do it, and then she took the initiative and did it. And that plan hadn't really gone through in a positive way up until that point, so Ashley not wanting to do it makes sense. And all that. And I get it. Trey's a nice guy. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Trey is just as nice of a guy as you imagine he was from the show, right?
Yeah.
This doesn't excuse Ashley for me. This is like Trey didn't tell me anything I already didn't know.
Yeah.
Right? I know he didn't ask her to. I know that she refused to do it. And I know that she took a jump later.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Made it. and then immediately was like, "One of you motherfuckers get in front of me and jump." So, to me, it's just like it doesn't excuse her. And then what we kind of have happen later, really just kind of paints how I feel about this. There's another thing that happens in the next episode, I believe, Sean. That I think it's the next episode. Hold on, because I've watched all 3. I got to make sure. Yeah, it's the next episode. Something that happens, and it just makes it even worse for me. And you'll see when we get there. But I really do think Trey would still be in the game.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And she was gonna have to jump when he failed anyway, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just like it was just not a team player. She's not a team player.
No. I think the part of it that I agree that like what because I've seen a couple other videos about it and stuff and other cast members talking about it. And I agree that like it still definitely doesn't come across well, but I feel like it's from everything that I've seen, it seems like it's just too obfuscated for me to have like a true opinion on it. Like everybody seems to be saying that like how they edited it was bullshit and not at all how it played out. So I have a hard time like coming to an opinion on it because like I wasn't there to be able to see what actually happened, and if all the contestants are saying, "Hey, that's not what happened," you know,
but it's clearly like what happened. What happened is he didn't ask her, so she didn't do it, and she wasn't gonna do it even if he did. And then right after he goes down and she jumps, she says, "Somebody better get up here and jump for me."
Yeah.
That's what happened. It doesn't matter how they edit it or how they like. Obviously, they edit it to make it look like that Trey was like asking her more. That's what I think people are saying. But like, for her to not be willing to take that jump for him and then demanding someone do it for her.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with her just not doing what Marina did and going, "Hey, like I'm going to do this for you." Like Trey is too nice of a guy. He needs to say something, right? If that's what he wants. And they definitely did like edit it to make it look like he was stank-eyeing her and being like, "Really? You know, and he probably didn't do that, right? I still think it's bullshit.
I think it's bullshit too.
I think everybody who's saying like they kind of something that Mai does later, and they're like, "Wow, I can't believe Mai did that." I just think that's absolute bullshit.
That made me more mad than
right.
The Ashley thing is so like obfuscated that it's hard for me to come to an opinion about it that outside of I really like Trey. This could have been avoided. And so aside from obviously I don't know Ashley, so you know, I'm not going to say Ashley's a bad person, but
no, I'm not saying that.
You know, I know. I think the reason that they kind of cuz like the anger that I felt in that moment was real. I got to tell you guys. I don't know that the anger that I felt I think is only comparable to watching the last episodes of Game of Thrones. And I haven't been that angry during most of my life, watching what happened on that bridge. So I think that it seems that a lot of people's reactions to what happened on the bridge are really heightened. And I think the cast is kind of trying to pull it down a little bit and be like, look, it didn't happen exactly as it's perceived. Like, it's not as bad as you think it is. Like, does it still suck? Yes. Like, but let's calm down a little bit, you know?
So I refuse.
I think that's where I've come is I've calmed down a little bit on that, but what still infuriates me is how they treat Mai after this.
Yeah. So Trey tries again because he doesn't want to waste everybody's time, and he
just goes. He does like 3 jumps, doesn't he?
On the 3rd jump, he's wrong, and he goes.
Yeah.
Mai is mad.
Yep.
And then she
Rightfully
jumps and makes it. And Ashley jumps and
Yeah.
makes it, and immediately says, "Perna, you better get your ass up here and
Yeah.
pass me." And I wrote in all caps, "No one says a word."
Yeah, that
like,
makes me even more upset.
like no one even goes, "Wait, you didn't do this for Trey." And I just think it's so insane. And
I'm
maybe they edited it in a way to where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
no one would say that, but I just don't believe it. I just don't.
I think my frustration lies less in what Ashley did and more how the rest of the group reacted to it.
Right. Right. It's like the fucking
Because
the evil isn't in the action of man, but the
Yeah,
indifference
yeah.
of man. You
well,
know,
like,
it's like
because I mean, Trey says it in his TikTok. That was the right move for her to play. You know, like
I
when we're thinking about this, like a game, like I guess you get I get that you have to jump eventually, but
I think it's the right move in the standpoint of like, oh, I want people to get eliminated,
mhm.
but not the right move. She got away with it because if anybody has any cojones there, they're gonna call her out and be like,
Yeah.
"I'm not jumping for you,"
See,
right?
that's
That's
the
why it's a
problem.
bad play, but it didn't work out that way for her because apparently no one gave a shit.
Yeah, I feel less frustration towards her for doing what she could to seemingly get ahead than I do for everybody else being like, yeah, let's not see that as a threat.
Well, for me, it's just like the hypocrisy of it, where
Well,
she's
yeah.
not willing to do it, and then she immediately asks someone else to
Well,
do it. That's what makes me mad.
and,
Like, I'm not like Trey went out and I like Trey or whatever, but it's not like, oh, Trey should have survived
dude,
the end. It's
Trey
like
train. I'm on the Trey train still. I
it's
think he's
just
gonna
like
come
she
back.
was a hypocrite, and I that bothers me.
No, it definitely bothers me too. I just like I'm so frustrated by her. I'm just more frustrated by everybody else like not.
yeah,
It's something whenever I watch like a movie or TV show or anything, whenever like the villain is like there, like the antagonist is there, and you're like, we all know that they did this wrong thing, but nobody does anything about it. It drives me
right.
crazy. So and it drove me
So I
crazy
would have
here.
pushed her off the bridge if it was me.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Perna jumps and makes it because he's a sweet boy.
Yes,
We like Perna.
I also want to add that Ashley says that was the saddest thing I had to watch. I'm like, why didn't you just fucking move? Anyways, yeah. Why didn't you just go? Why didn't you just overtake? But okay.
Right. Jackie's up next, and she meditates, and people are getting frustrated.
Uh-huh.
And I think this is the first time when you hear Amanda's horribly annoying voice go, "The clock,
The oh my god.
the clock."
Oh.
She says it like 3 or 4 times, and maybe that's just editing. And like I agree with her, but she's so damn annoying that it pisses me off. Like I agree with her, like being like, "Hey guys, the clock," but like she drives me crazy.
This is so interesting to me because I saw another video with Chad where Chad pretty much said that the clock wasn't like a thing.
Yeah, I know.
Like yeah, he was saying
They
that,
make
like,
the clock seem like a thing in the editing, though.
yeah, well, he was saying that like before they went on the bridge, the executives were like, if you guys don't make it across in time, that ruins the show.
Right.
So
Right, everybody loses.
So,
So
yeah. So I don't understand Amanda yelling about the clock even more knowing that.
Well, and
But
it makes
maybe
my
it's-
frustrations I'm going to bring up later make more sense because
Uh-huh.
they like I get really frustrated when they're all like hugging each person as they
yeah.
go by and like
Yeah.
that kind of shit, you know.
Yeah.
Um Jackie's gone and Phil is in absolute shambles.
Yep.
At this point they're halfway done. Roland's up next and he's going through hugging everybody as he goes and you hear Amanda go again, "The clock." But Roland makes it. I wrote Elliot makes it, and then I wrote, who the fuck is Elliot? Because I don't know Elliot.
I also don't know Elliot.
Phil survives. Up
Yes.
next is Chad, and I wrote, his big ass is going to break the glass anyway.
Oh my god.
Because this motherfucker jumps, dude,
Mike.
and it fucking shakes the bridge. The bridge rumbles.
It does.
And I was just like, holy cow, this man. He turns to Mai, and he wants Mai to make the decision for him.
I thought
which
that
is
was really
weird.
sweet. I'm sorry. I think that's really sweet.
And she's like, don't put this on me. And he goes, no, it's on me. Just tell me. And I don't know, man. I get it. I get that they seem genuine as friends.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Uh-huh.
I don't. I think it's weird. I don't think it's real.
I think that I've been able to believe it a little bit more as I've been, like, watching behind the scenes stuff about, like, we've been talking a lot about, like, "Oh, you guys have only been there 3 days." Like, they've talked about a lot of the behind the scenes thing where it's like, "Yeah, we had, like, 4 days where we were living in the dorm without anything to do between games, like, at a
Yeah,
time."
yeah, and I get that, but
So
I
so
don't know. I
I
just
don't
don't like him, I guess.
okay, and I do like him. I like him and her. I don't know. For some reason, they just come across as genuine to
I
me.
actually don't like Mai or
I know
Chad,
you don't
to
like
be
either of
honest.
them.
Um,
I feel that I'm in the minority from what I've seen
the
of liking them.
minority.
Yeah, the minority. That was good. That was good.
Eh,
But there's just something about them that seems very genuine that I enjoy.
Uh, so Mai picks the right one for him. He survives. Rose is up next, and Rose's ancestors answer her call.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Yeah, I liked
I
that too.
Shiban, is that how you say her name?
Yeah, yeah.
Shiban, she takes a long ass time and then falls.
Yep.
Um, Rose is a bit in shambles about this
Well, they were
because they
all
were
like
good
so
friends.
excited because they're like, "We did it! We did it! Look at it! The teamwork worked. Everything. This is a dream." And then she falls, and everybody is immediately like, "Oh
And then
shit!"
here's where I wrote in all caps, they are taking so fucking
Yeah,
long. Stop hugging everyone.
yeah, yeah.
Mikey, after doing the hug tour, goes next, and he's done.
Which was I was so mad because I loved Mikey, and it cuts to somebody, and they go, "Gonna miss you, Mikey."
Yeah. James is up
He's
next. James
full on
is
sobbing.
in shambles.
New Spencer.
His ass shaking is what I wrote. He asks Mai, and Mai says, "Go right," and he goes, and James
Fucking dies.
dies.
Yeah.
Uh, I wrote here, "Stop grieving and move," because they acted like the clock was gonna run out.
Yeah.
It and people are acting like it's like this, like, and I get it's 15 feet in the air, but they're acting like they're walking a tightrope here.
I think that's what's kind of frustrating the most about I think that the one hurdle this show has been unable to overcome is the disconnect between how people act in the show and the reality of the situation.
Right.
It
People
it
are way heightened.
it and to an extent I have to wonder if they were asked to be that way cuz I don't know why you would be complaining about the clock if you'd already been told that time wasn't an issue unless they said, "Hey, but still play it up for the edit," you know? So,
Right.
I think that they have announced the season 2. I think that they would be better off served if they leaned a little more into it's very immersive, but I feel like that tonal disconnect isn't totally working. And I think maybe if you pulled back just a little bit on the immersiveness of it, I don't know if that's crazy of me to say, but I feel like if you pulled back just a little bit and made it feel a little more genuine and less absolutely fucking nuts, I think it would work a little bit better.
I know. I do feel like that's part of why this show works, though, too.
That's true. We
You
have
know,
gotten a lot of our entertainment out of the idea of these people just acting fucking ridiculous.
Spencer, you know.
Spencer. But I guess there's a tightrope to walk.
Yeah.
There's a glass bridge. That they
There's
have
a
to
glass
walk
bridge
with
for
it.
them to walk. Yeah.
And I think in this episode, they go a little. I don't know. I think it really depends on how well the actual person can sell it.
Yeah.
And I think there's some people that don't sell it as well.
Right. They get back to the dorms because everybody else makes it from there. James was the last casualty.
Yep.
And they took most of the beds out, which I think they've been taking beds out, and
I
haven't
haven't
really
noticed.
they haven't really like highlighted it, but now they did. And Ashley says, "I don't know these people from a can of paint. They're gonna eliminate floaters like me first." And I wrote, "No, it's because you didn't cooperate." But what I didn't know is that nobody except Mai gave a shit about that.
So when she was like, "I don't know these people from a can of paint," I was like, you know what? Fucking fair enough. At least she's being honest.
Right.
And then she's
right.
like, she said that. I'm like, you think they're not going to vote for you because or they're going to vote? Do you think they're going to vote for you because you're a floater or because you're an asshole? Like, I
Right.
don't.
Also, referring to yourself as a floater, that's tough. I feel like that just makes me think of poop. That's just like a turd in the toilet. You
Not
know
a
what I mean?
great, not a great.
I'm a floater. Like what? I wrote Ashley talking head. Who fucking cares? I have no idea what her talking
I
head
don't
was
even
about.
remember what it was about, to be honest with you.
Because I did not care. I think it was something about her parents or something. I don't know. We have 12 players left. $4.44 million in the piggy bank. The announcer says the next test is tomorrow, face to face.
Yes.
And here we get a lot of like people interacting.
They try to get you like caught up with some of the characters that we don't know as well.
Right. Chad has a thing saying the competition's picking up. Sam and Phil hang out and they're like, we hate this place. Sam has a talking head where it's the first time we really meet him. And he calls himself a little gay boy, which immediately made me think of The Hangover and what's that actor's name?
Yeah.
Because whenever I hear the term little gay boy, that's what I think. Because he would always be like, little gay boy, you know? I tough for me, I guess. Amanda and B were next to each other, red light, green light, which is...
Yeah, I think that was that. I think this is, again, where... this part of the episode didn't really hit for me.
This is pretty boring.
It's a pretty boring part of the episode. I think that this is part of the... Whenever I see a lot of people, oh, it's rigged, I'm like, if it was rigged, it'd be more interesting.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
The fact is that they spent episodes building up these characters, and now they're gone, and now we have to reestablish new people and make you care about them, and yada yada, and tell this narrative. Because even though it's reality TV show, it's still a TV show. There's still a narrative being told, and because of that, like when we're at the end here, and like we want to feel like we're in it. The show needs to be like, okay, but now hold the fuck on, because there's unfortunately, all the characters that are gone. So let's learn about these other people now. So I don't think a show would choose to be structured like this.
Right. Mai and Chad have a moment, and then you can tell that like Chad's trying to get something out of Mai, and she's not. She's scheming after Ashley, because after Ashley did that, she said, "Hey, I need to watch out for her," and she's not telling Chad on purpose. And she makes a point to tell us in a talking head, "I'm playing it close to the chest."
Yeah, I wrote down from that just he trusts her more than she trusts him. Like totally.
Well, and but she's also being a good player.
Yeah,
right?
he's like, we're buddies, and she's like, there's $4 million on the line.
Right.
You know, we can be buddies afterwards.
Chad is also worried about Elliot B and Amanda because they're British, which is fun.
Yeah, there's a weird oh no, the Brits are teaming up.
Right.
I'm like, are we gonna have the Revolutionary War happen? What's going on here?
Are we gonna have to throw the tea in the harbor? You know, like what are we doing here?
I don't understand.
Ashley scheming up with Sam, and Sam in a talking head makes this comment about they're going to. I don't remember the exact words, but he says we're gonna take our rightful place.
Yeah, it's very weird.
And I was like, "What? Are you like the chosen one? What are you talking about,
dude?" They didn't give him the rank of master.
I guess not. So day passes, lights out, wake up call. Everybody's kind of hanging out. Ashley makes a comment about how she has to pretend to be friends with people, and she's dancing with them. Perna starts just breaking it down, dude.
Yeah, dude. He hits it.
And then we get a talking head from him, and I noticed specifically his suit coat was drippy as fuck.
It is.
It's this nice baby blue.
Yeah. He's set up.
I unfortunately didn't write anything down about his talking head. I was just mesmerized by the suit coat.
He talked about growing up in another country.
Yeah.
It was
seems like a nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember anything like super important off the top of my head from it.
Yeah. I also noted
we're in the realm of like these people are kind of normal.
Right.
So their talking heads are not less interesting, but less memorable than like
Turn it in,
I
call
can,
Jesus the
yeah,
ultimate competitor,
yeah, and say like compassion is weakness or whatever. Like he didn't recite the Sith code in his fucking
Right,
in his
right.
fucking talking head, so it's a little
Have
less
you ever
memorable.
heard the story of Darth Plagueis the
Dude,
Wise?
I wish that the first time we saw Lorenzo talking head, that had been what he'd said. He just looked at him. Have you ever heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
It's
Just
not a story the Jedi would tell you. Um, I want to know also that we come back to them dancing, and it's Bee's turn to dance, and she does the fucking Macarena,
yeah.
which it's like, what is this, 1997? Why are you doing the Macarena?
Hey man. Yeah, I don't have anything. I don't have any defense for this.
It's pretty wild. So the guards come in and they bring out a rope, which I was pretty terrified by. And then they put a big old die in there.
Yes.
In the rope. They make it a triangle and put a die in there. And then they have to select a leader. And I noticed Mai immediately raises her hand, but so does Amanda and Elliot.
Uh-huh.
And Chad pulls out this like, hey, Mai is gonna do the right thing here. She's gonna be a fair leader. She is gonna do the right thing. Remember TJ, how good of a leader he was? This is Mai, all right?
And you know what? Guess what? Mai does do the right thing here.
She does. Not in their eyes, but in our eyes.
Yeah.
So they begrudgingly go, okay, Mai's the leader. And then the game is, if you roll a 6, the game is to agree. But if you roll a 6, before you roll, you select either yourself or someone else in the group. And if you roll a 6, that person is eliminated, whether it's yourself or the person you selected. And so they kind of do the thing that they've been doing every game, like, okay, we only nominate ourselves, so it's fair. And everybody's like, yeah, no, that sounds good. No, okay, yeah, we'll do that. And then Mai goes, I'm nominating Ashley. And everybody's like, what? And even Chad's like, wow, that's kind of classless, like that. Mai just did that.
What frustrates me about this as well is nobody handles this well, because at no point either does Mai go like, by the fucking way, I'm doing this because Ashley fucking killed Trey.
She says something cryptic like, oh, she's not a team player or something. And it's like, sure, but like,
come out and say it. Like, look, Trey's gone because of her. Here's the situation. Like, nobody handles this right.
Right. Ashley's crying.
Yeah.
During this, which I thought was pretty hilarious. And Mai fucks up and rolls a 4.
Yep.
So then she picks Roland, because you pick the next person to roll next, and it's Roland. He nominates himself, and doesn't eliminate himself. And he says, I've never rolled a 6 in my entire life, and I'm not starting today. And then he doesn't roll a 6. What a fucking Chad, dude.
Based, dude.
Fucking.
Fucking based.
Yeah. Sam is next, nominates himself. He does not roll a 6. Haley is next, does not roll a 6. Also, Haley might be the love of my life, I've decided.
What was I telling you, Mike?
No. Hold on. You weren't like convincing me. I just didn't know who she was, and I said, Sean, I pay attention to redheads, okay?
Yeah, and I knew.
And
who
I've been paying attention, and I've seen her on Instagram, and she lives in Chicago, Illinois, which is pretty close to me. Just kidding. I'm happily in a relationship. Just in case Tara ever listens to this, I'm not gonna go hunt down this redheaded woman. But she's cute and she's safe. She makes it. B is next and goes, yo, I always roll 6s. I'm actually really good at rolling 6s. Yeah. And for some fucking reason, she rolls a 6 and she's done. I don't understand this woman. Why is she so good at things?
You know? She's really good at things. I don't know what to tell you. It is kind of crazy that she's that fucking good at everything. Like, I don't know. I feel like she should like be a Twitch streamer or something.
Right. She should be in the gaming community.
Apparently she's in the industry somehow, but I feel like I want to see those fucking like reflexes in like a CS:GO match. I don't fucking watch CS:GO, and I'm not gonna start.
What are you talking about?
But I might start for B, but I'm probably not gonna start. But
so, moving on. Ashley's up next, and I don't remember what he says, but I typed "Shut up, Roland." He says something.
He says you've been targeted. You were
Yeah.
thrown under the bus.
And then Mai's like, I didn't target her. And she's like, okay, sorry, I used the wrong choice of words.
It's like, okay, no, you did target her, but you targeted her because she fucking killed Trey. Trey's dead because of her. And I know Trey's not actually dead, but he's dead because of her.
She chooses Mai and makes the point, hey, I already got targeted once, it's only fair. And everybody's like, yeah, that's fair, right? But she does not roll a 6. Elliot does not roll a 6. Perna rolls a 6. See ya, Perna. Nice talking head earlier. Phil and Amanda are safe. And then Chad gives this weird speech like he knows he's eliminated.
Yeah.
Like, he just gives this speech where he's like, it's been great, everybody, and I appreciate that we all work together on this, and then rolls a 6.
Maybe he gave the speech afterwards and they just edited it.
Yeah, maybe. But then Mai attacks Chad.
Yep.
Like he's her husband going off to war.
It's really sad to me.
She starts beating the shit out of Chad.
It's
you roll the dice wrong, Mai. Relax.
I don't know. I feel like I have a little more. I don't know. I think it made me feel a little more sad than it did you.
Yeah, I wasn't into it.
But then Ashley is like, "This is what you get. This is karma." And I wrote down, "Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? You're the devil. You're the actual devil."
Which, I hate a bitch trying to feel sorry for themselves.
That might be harsh. Maybe look, I was in my feelings when I typed that, but I stand by it.
Yeah.
You are in the way that this is portrayed as a character on a reality TV show, the devil in this scenario. You don't get to karma Mai, like, get the fuck out of here.
And then there's no cliffhanger. She kind of just like says karma's a bitch to Mai, and there's no cliffhanger. And that's the episode. I will tell you, Sean.
Uh-huh.
The next episode features my favorite game they play in the whole show.
Okay, exciting.
It's really good. And there is a standout performer in this game, and I'm so excited for you to watch it.
I'm excited because I feel like doing the bridge game over essentially 2 episodes has kind of broken the flow a bit for me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can even look at this episode. This is going to be our shortest episode that we've recorded.
Right.
But this one, I don't know. I wasn't feeling this one as much as, the bridge stuff at the beginning was really good, but like once they got off the bridge, I think I was feeling it a little bit less than previous ones.
Part of it is because the contestants have taken this stance of, we're all in this together with all these games, and it makes the dice game really boring, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I was hoping there would be someone that would, go against the grain here besides Mai, right? Like, someone just goes, you know what? I don't really like the way Phil looked at me. And then, you know what I mean? Or like Leanne with the apples early on, right? There's nothing like that.
Everyone's being just, like, a little too nice.
Yeah.
For us to be this late in the game, it's like, it's just, which is a crazy thing to say about, like, people. You're being too nice. But for, like, the entertainment value of the show, it definitely impacts it a bit.
Well, and what's really crazy about it is, early on you and I were talking about how people are like, this reality show is completely against the message of the show.
Yeah.
And I posed the argument that because these people are being so money hungry, maybe this is the exact purpose, it's the exact same theme of the show, where I feel like here it kind of, with the exception of the Mai and Ashley stuff, everybody's being very respectful with $4.6 million on the line.
This has not gone at all how I thought it was going to.
No,
I feel like people were more cutthroat when, and I mean, that might just be the thing of when there's a larger crowd, it's easier to be cutthroat when it's, you don't really know everybody. And when you get down to 20 people or whatever, like 12 or whatever, it's harder to, to be cutthroat if you know these people. A little bit better. So yeah, I think it's been an interesting change.
And I do think you'll get a little more of that in this next game, like I said, which is one of the reasons I like it. But it, everybody's just way too nice, and I feel like if I were to try out for the season 2 of this, and I got this far, I would stop being nice at this point.
Yeah.
Not in like a dickhead way, but like in the games, it's like, hey, we don't know what game we're playing next. This Chad motherfucker's like 6'4".
Yeah.
I'm rolling the dice at him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. He's
Like that-
6'4" and he made the glass shake.
Right.
Like
he made the whole motherfucking bridge almost came down when he Hulk jumped to the next thing of glass, dude. Like, like someone take this man out, you know?
He's the Hulk, dude.
Right.
We can't fight this guy. When they make us do the Squid Game and we have to fucking knife each other in the rain, I'm not gonna win that.
Right. Sean, I'm a little depressed because this was the episode I was gonna ask you, hey, who do you think's gonna win this thing?
Oh.
But you know who wins.
Yeah. I'm upset. I feel like it's I don't know. I mean, I think you can tell with the tone. It definitely is frustrating, and I had hoped to come into it with a little more like, yeah, I'm gonna make this fiery and like exciting, but I don't know. That's just not in me right now.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just wanted to give you one more opportunity to try and kill the
But
CEO.
I will say, if you know a hitman, I look, you know my Twitter. I say it every episode. Just like DM me, you know, like if you know one, like if you just happened to know one, you know, like that happens a lot, right, Mike? People just happen to know hitmen sometimes.
I want to read you one of my notes.
Okay.
From the next episode.
Okay.
No context.
Okay.
It says in all caps, motherfucking Phoenix Wright in this bitch. Can he do it again? What a fucking legend. In all caps.
Okay.
So just out of context for you.
Okay.
Sean, where can people find you?
On Twitter at Sean_AFK. If you happen to know a hitman, hit me up.
You can follow me at SpikeGhetti Bros. I want nothing to do with any hitmen. So please don't send hitmen my way. Sean, I agree to end this episode.
I also agree to end this episode.
Bye.
Bye.
So, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, it was revealed that in 2019, he gave a speech to the team wanting them in the team meeting to come together with communication styles similar to the terrorist group that performed 9/11. And ever since I read that, I'm spiraling as a person. There's been a lot of wow, the anniversary of Pearl Harbor is tomorrow. I wonder what Sean McDermott has to say about that. So a lot of things, and he his apology was just kind of like not really an apology. He's like, I apologized at the time because it was out of line, and then someone's like, so like, what exactly did you say? Because it was kind of like, and he's like, I was talking about camaraderie and communication. So basically, what he's saying is he thinks 9/11 was like Ocean's 11, and thinks it's really cool. So that's where I'm at right now. And I think that the people on the bridge just really need to come together and execute the plan.
Hello and welcome to Squid Pro Quo. Can you open the episode with you just going,
I will absolutely not. I will absolutely not. 100%
just telling
not.
that little story right at the beginning? Because that's incredible.
It might be at the end.
Okay.
We'll see.
Like a post-credit scene.
Yeah.